What's up, guys? It's desRow. Welcome to Remax. What's up, Rifkin?
What's up, desRow? How's
Are,
it going, man?
are you excited?
I'm so excited. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. But yeah, guys, it's whoops. I messed up this thing. Hold on.
Really? I thought it was Remax, not oops, I messed up this thing. Hang
Right,
on.
so yeah, welcome to episode 41. It's May 26th. Huck is still not here because he's in California. He's gonna be back next week. He's staying over there to play in a tournament after casting WCS. But in the meantime, I have a bunch of wonderful people with me here. We're going to talk about StarCraft. So let's start with the intros, or yeah, whatever. Rifkin, what have you been up to? And how's your life?
I'm still a little bit sick. Other than that, just casting every day. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah? Nothing too special? You haven't seen any movies, done
Uh,
anything like fancy?
no, just sitting at home being sick kind of prevents that from. I guess one cool thing happened to me, happened to you. Both of us recently got our new chairs, right?
Yeah, really cool. From Cheers for Gaming. They're wonderful people. Thank you for being shameless for me. I appreciate it. What about you, Mo? What have you been up to? Besides delaying the show by like 5 minutes.
I'm doing good, man. I
Yeah?
got some goulash soppa and baguette. Life is good.
Nice. What about you, Nanny? What have you been up to?
Uh, you know, streaming every day,
Mm-hmm.
really hard. Didn't realize how much effort it took.
Right?
But then when the donations in, you get that burst that you need to make it through the stream.
Mm-hmm.
No. Actually, it's more fun to stream than I thought, to be honest. Like,
Is
it
what?
was annoying the first days, but if you do it regularly, I feel like it becomes less of a hassle and more of like a fun thing. Interacting with like a lot of the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Is my mic all staticky again?
Yes.
What
Sadly.
is it? This only happens with you. Like nobody else I have this issue. Understand?
I don't know, man. That's really weird, actually. I'm so sorry, dude. It's okay. We still appreciate anything you have to say, Rifkin. But I know, Nanny. I totally know what you mean. It's like you're making friends on the internet, man. We would have thought, like, that was the coolest thing for me. It's like I was lonely before streaming, and now I have plenty of friends on the internet. Life is magical.
Amazing.
What?
Hold on to those friends, desRow. Never let them go.
No, I will never let them go. Yeah, for me, pretty much the same thing. Been streaming just like these guys. This World Cup is gonna be on Saturday. I took a break last weekend because there was just too many tournaments with WCS, and so yeah, let's get to the topics, guys. First up, we have upsets in the WCS round of 32. After groups were played over the last 2 weeks, and since we weren't happening last week, we're still going to talk about the first two groups that happened 2 weekends ago. And so that was Bunny, Patrius, Jim, Kane. So Jim and Kane losing, and 4GG Stardust coming out of Group B with Tunming and Sen not making it out. Would you guys say Patrius making it out above Jim is an upset, or that seems pretty reasonable?
Seemed pretty reasonable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Jim and Max said have been doing pretty badly, as far as I've seen. Like I followed all their games
Mm-hmm.
since several years, and they were doing really well a few years ago, like maybe 1 or 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't feel like they took that next step, I suppose. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't remind me of like the good Koreans.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Well, what's going on? Okay, well that's gone. But yeah, no, it sucks that Jim wasn't able to live up to his name, especially since all the good Koreans are out. You know, like Teja and Bomber were always the one beating him last year, but they're gone now. For GG and Stardust almost not making it out of his group. Do you have anything to say, Nanny, about that result? Like he lost
What
to
result?
he lost to Tudming 2-1.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully.
I just know that Stardust has had like a rookie start, I suppose you
Yeah.
could call it. Like 3-2 against Huck, like really close there. Than that as well. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is this any better like this or?
Oh
Sorry,
yeah,
stop my
yeah,
headset.
yeah. It's really good now. What happened?
I was using my headset now. I can't figure out what's causing the other mic to get all staticky.
That's weird. I'm sorry, Riff. It seems like it's taking a toll on you, man. Whoa! What the fuck? Rifkin!
Endure it, Morrow.
Nani was the bravest. He kept his headphone on.
You have to challenge yourself, desRow. Maybe he should. Maybe if you shave, like maybe it's because of the beard, man.
Oh yeah, maybe he really is. Oh, poor Rifkin.
Is this headset better? Yeah, it's great. No, it's not better.
We can't hear you
that,
right now.
Is that working? Is
yeah,
that working now?
Yeah, it works now. It's
I just
wonderful.
unplugged the plug in. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on, guys.
It's okay. Do you have any thoughts on Stardust?
Stardust was so weak during the qualifiers.
Oh. Well, guys.
Maybe change mic.
Yeah. Just go back with the static, man.
Alright, test.
Yeah, it works now.
Oh, that's great.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so if it's staticky, I'm really sorry. I'll try
Yeah.
and speak slower than normal because I talk fast. But Stardust really weak during the qualifiers. For those who didn't see it, we cast all of his matches, or most of his matches, and it was always versus Terran. He fell. So when I saw him in the group before GG, I'm like, well, if he ends up fighting for GG, there's just no way, because he was losing to like, I don't know, no name, like master Terran player. Like he got 2-0'd by somebody we thought was a walkover in like the second qualifier. So I don't know what's going on with Stardust, but he's living with Violet and Polt, 2 best training partners you could ask for to have like as you. So I'm hoping we'll see better stuff out of him, like moved in and settled in.
Yeah, I've seen his stream actually, and I've seen him play a lot, and he seems to be decent. But like I saw him later on Korea, and he was struggling quite a bit. So yeah, maybe he's just not in top shape at the moment.
I know he's been tweeting a little bit about League of Legends, so maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've talked to him about that too. He is pretty high ranked in League.
Apparently, Stardust is not living with Polt. I'm getting a.
Oh, I was told
because
he was living.
because Polt's in Korea until July, so he's living with
Okay,
Violet.
well, Violet then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives in the CSN house. Is the basic point, of course.
I have a secret informer every time during Remax. He knows a lot. He sends me messages. But yeah, so to continue with that, Stardust not so strong for GG Bunny coming out on top of these 2 groups. And then this weekend, we had Group C and Group D. And Group C was very surprising. I remember having a discussion, I think, with Borsty on Twitter. And no, it was with Dr. Aromi, and he was saying, like, I wish WCS would make, like, footage to hype the groups. And then I was like, well, I don't think Ret and Mystery are that interesting, so I don't know what there would be to hype. And then they were like, well, Ret has had a lot of results, and I'm like, yeah, well, not in the last 2 years. And then right after that, Ret finished first in his group, so that's really cool for Ret. Big props to him. Beating Mystery 2-1, although he had some shaky games, and then beating Violet 2-1. Mo, did you catch any of those games? Maybe the Marine Lord games?
I remember that I didn't watch too closely, to be honest with you. So I'm sorry about that. But I saw Marine Lord playing mech every single game, I believe, against Serg, which is also a bit interesting to me. Because, ever since the Swarm Host patch, it's been very interesting to see if the Terrans are going for mech or for bio. So it was fun seeing him playing with the mech style. And beating Violet was like kind of silly, in my opinion. But I think Violet misplayed pretty hardly, in my opinion, from the games that I watched.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like the Coda game, the absolute final map, where he just like choked with all his Ultralisk on a ramp fighting a 200-foot fight. And then all the fucking patchworks in the chat spamming, Terran, show Imba. No. No. You need Blinding Cloud, you need Transfuse, and then you can A-move, alright? Yeah.
Are you admitting that Terran is Imba?
No, the plebs from the chat.
I actually want to show
did
the
Terran
stream.
win or lose?
I think he's trying to tilt you.
I'm not gonna discuss with you.
Oh, okay.
This conversation is over.
Mo, don't be like that, man. You have to fight back, you know? So he lost 200 supply of Ultras in the Coda game?
Yeah, I think he was in a good position to win on that map, and it was like a 200-foot fight, and he took it on the ramp in the Coda, middle of the map.
Yeah, this
like
is coming
fucking
up.
12 Ultra is just choking up, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? was so silly, because I've been practicing a little bit with Violet too recently.
Nice.
For my all my Zergs that I had played against, and he was playing quite well against Mick. The thing was just that he would usually kill me before we got to late games, so I guess we got to see his late game here. But yeah, it was.
So what you're saying is you failed to give good practice to Violet, and that's why you lost.
No, it's not at all what I said.
Are you sure? Okay.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Man, like I saw this game and like I just kind of want to say Marine Lord. I've really liked Marine Lord for a long time. Like I don't know, Daishi kind of like passed on the mantle of really, really good Terran to him. So as like crazy as it is to see Violet lose, I was actually like not so shocked that it was to Marine Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean Marine Lord has been his time has been coming for a long time. It's good that he's gonna be able to show us more in Toronto. Oh wow, that engagement. He had a lot of Brood Lords. How did that not work? And he had a decent amount of Blinding Clouds.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch too closely, but there was more than one fight probably during that game.
Yeah, no, I saw the Ultras being choked at the third. That was okay, I see. Well, I mean, he had good intentions. It just didn't work out. So yeah, that was the first. That was Group C, the first group of the weekend. Mystery and Violet going home, and then the second group, Group D, was Harstem, Sonu, Xenocider, and NXZ, and poor NXZ. The Twitch chat was all out for him. He really didn't deliver to the expectations of the peasants. And so Harstem came out first in this group, and Xenocider almost made it. Did you catch any of the games, Mo, of Xenos?
I don't think I did. I actually was streaming during that group.
Xeno's last best of 3 in Expedition loss was heartbreaking to watch. Like that was a tough game. I actually had Harstem and Xenocider pegged for that group. Like I know Ayasanu from the Team Story Cup, Acer Team Story Cup, but that's about it. I knew he was a really good player going into this, but I thought Xenocider would have been able to beat him. So I was actually a little bit shocked when that last series ended up going 2-1 in IA's favor.
Yeah.
So was it playing mech or bio?
No. I don't think Xenocider really plays mech that much, does he?
I don't know. Probably not.
I can't think of seeing him go mech.
Well, the rest of the groups are going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they're going to be in Germany. Lots of good players left. 3 Koreans left. We'll see what happens, and we'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about the results. Next up, we have the Legacy of the Void Balance update. There's the new Terran unit and more. So I'll try to get you guys some footage of the Terran unit. But pull up the blog. I'll put the blog in chat as well for you people in the chat. So there's just a few changes. There's a bunch that are like, not much to talk about. Like the gas has been raised to 2,000 to fit the mineral, so that your base stays viable a little bit longer.
Well,
what?
I say there's not much to talk about, but it's like a game-changing, like dude. The Roach getting nerfed. Roach Burrow getting nerfed.
No, I just meant that specific.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like the whole patch as a whole.
No,
I was like, this crazy shit coming.
Yeah. But let's just start with the top. So the Liberator has been added to the starport. It looks like a Valkyrie. So if you've ever played Brood War. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, a little bit shameless. Since we don't have a lot of topics today, make sure to go ask your question on Reddit before we continue with this topic. But go on, Rifkin. Liberator, what do you think of it?
I think, I'm not sure, because there's the raw footage that was released, and we don't know if that's actually when they put it in a patch, because the guy was just playing versus AI or whatever, right? But the callback for me, I don't know if there's anyone on your show that, anyone in the audience, I guess I'm reaching for this, that played Shattered Galaxy back in the day, but I see very much of another unit called a Vulture from way back when. I think the AA Splash is kind of cool. I think it's needed for sure, because right now Terran players struggle to deal with mutas and like all facets of life. But that is what I'm most curious about, because Aiga's brought up some interesting points on Twitter about how this unit might be used to break tank lines a lot better than anything else. So I'm really curious to see how this unit gets utilized.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to help deal with mutas and then the tank lines. As for versus Protoss, I don't think you'll give much use, right?
It depends. I mean, it's really hard to use anything versus Protoss when it comes to like starport tech in the first place, right? Like, they just between tech and anti-armor from Stalkers, like, Terran's already fairly limited what they can make out of that starport. So I don't know if this will make it viable or not.
Yeah. What about you, Morrow? What are your thoughts on the Liberator? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't see you had a mouthful.
Comes on a talk show, can't talk.
What are you good for, Morrow?
Looking salty.
He's used to being cut off or not being when we don't let him talk. So
while he finishes eating, another point I want to bring up, and this is kind of maybe one that's overlooked at the bottom, but the missile turret change I think is kind of huge.
Yeah, that's pretty that's cool for us Protoss, right, Nanny? So we'll be able to. So before you didn't need an engineering bay to make a turret, but like they took that out, but now they put it back. So DTs and oracles are have a little bit more potential.
It's not even just DTs and oracles though. There's a lot of other matchups like, oh, you're going mech, but you didn't build anti-air versus mutas. Sometimes you lose because you don't have the engineering bay down in time. Versus Terran as well for Banshees. There's a lot of implications. I don't think missile turrets are good enough to win a game, but they stop the game from being over to something really stupid. So it's
not very stupid though. Not making eBay for 20 minutes.
It's
you deserve to lose.
I'm not agree. If it's 20 minutes, yes, but it's the early pressure that would stop.
I'm really sad about that change. I was very excited when they allowed turrets without eBay, because that was such a hidden mech buff. Because with mech you kind of don't want an eBay except for with turrets, so it would give them some extra in the early game. And it's always a bit silly when you're playing like against, for example, Proxy Oracle, and you have to like rush out eBay at 4-minute mark to rush out turret.
Yeah.
I mean, Zerg players got the buff with the Spore Crawler, right, to not need the Evo, and I think the same logic can be, put into the turret requirement. I don't see a good reason why you would need an engineering bay.
Because it would be overpowered.
Oh, that's the thing, though. I don't think so.
Well,
I think it would open up more build orders for Terran.
No, it would close out any build that could punish anything Terran did for Protoss.
Well, no,
I think like winning like with Dark Templar is really stupid in the first place. I really don't like that you can even do that.
Okay, but that's like we needing a robo against Widowmine. So like, are you saying we should have an observer without a robo as well, or what?
No, but you're like.
If we could do cannons without a forge, then that would be really nice too. But we can't.
Here's where the difference is, though, right?
You want observers, but if you're playing back, you don't want an eBay and a turret, just like that.
Right, but what I'm saying is something with a robo, it's a tech path you're taking anyways. Like, okay, you have to get it earlier than maybe you want to, but you're usually getting Colossus or observers at some point. Whereas for Terran, you're not always needing the engineering bay, like Morrow was saying.
But the forge was a better example then. Like if you wanted to get early
But
upgrades,
the thing is,
you
you have Oracle from Stargate Path, and you have Observer from Robo. If you go with Forge with quick upgrades, you have a Cannon. You have like 3 paths. Terran has Save Scan or like
You already have Scan, yeah.
build turret.
Okay, so you think that there should be no way to punish a Terran for whatever they do?
No,
I
but
think like needing an engineering bay for turret is not something that's needed for balance. If we're talking about Legacy of the Void here, the game is not balanced in the first place. So it's all about game design. So do you think you should need a turret for engineering bay or not? That's more of the question. And not,
Like they already
not-
removed the
not
Colossus
about,
from the game, and now you want that?
Yeah, but we're not talking about balance here. We're talking about opening up more build orders for
Practicality.
Terran and like
But of course it's balance related.
and like gameplay. Like
It's
not
extremely
needing
balance
eBay,
related, Morrow.
not needing eBay would open up, for example, let's say like 2 factory Cyclone or whatever, or like quick starport into this new unit or whatever.
Yeah, but if you
Not
don't
needing
need
that
eBay,
on 25.
if you don't need eBay, then you can make more SCVs, right? Instead of that eBay, etc., etc. So it does become a balance thing as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, we can't just make more SCVs. Like we're not cutting SCVs by building an engineering
Yeah.
bay.
You
I'm
don't
just
want
saying- I'm just
to
saying
proxy
I-
Oracle or anything.
Factory
Just
time.
say it might open up like a build, some new build orders, and I think Terran could use some leeway in early game.
Oh, fuck.
But it's just my
I
opinion.
think
That's my opinion. Like I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this is what I think.
I think the problem though is the focus on it isn't that it's balanced or not. It's practicality of the way you play the game. Like, should you have to build a Stargate to go out of your way to do like one thing and then never use it again for the rest of the game? Like an Oracle, for example. Like it is a little bit silly that you would do something like a Stargate, you go for the Oracle opening, you build one, and then that tech path doesn't get touched for the rest of the game. Ignoring balance for a moment, is it safe to say that's a little bit silly?
Well, you guys are saying it's just a practicality, but if you think about it in PvC, for example, Dark Templar openings are not even used anymore, right?
Yeah.
And Oracle is
Practically.
not used as frequently either, because of the spore change. And the same would happen to TVP.
It's very normal to open Oracle in PvC, no?
Yeah, but the Dark Templar is not used anymore.
But I think Dark Templar is like a terrible unit design in the first place.
Well,
I
it's still
hate,
in the
like-
game, so we have to do the best with it, you know? Like, you can't
I
just
don't
ignore
think-
the Dark Templar.
I don't think that makes sense. I think you
Okay,
could
but
throw
you wanna
Dark
know something
Templar
really
out the window.
stupid? A Widowmine one-shotting an Oracle is fucking stupid.
That's not on the topic at all, though. I think a unit like Dark Templar is like, oh, you can just accidentally win a game immediately. I don't like a unit like that.
But that's the same as a Widowmine shot. Like,
No, it's not like Widowmine is part of Terran's army composition. So if I Widowmine drop, it's not gonna win the game. Like it wins the game if Protoss doesn't react with microcontrol and so on. It's not
Oh, but
like
you save
oh
a
he
scan then.
skipped observers. So no, but that's the thing. You don't do that every game
but
because
you
it's
can
such
do it.
it's a high investment to do that. So it's not normal. It's more
You're
normal
not
to take
supposed
the
to be
risk.
safe to every build in the entire game by not doing a single thing.
I mean, I think I agree with Nanny here. Like, if we look at the Spore, DT is less used. We don't see as much variety. Like, I understand that if you want to play mech, then turrets for free without the eBay is nice, but maybe that's not the best compromise because then we lose another viable tech path because you get
See,
turrets so easily.
I think the problem is with this conversation, and it's not something that's going to get resolved because it's 2 Protoss and 2 Terran in a call, is we're only looking at it from one angle. I'm trying to look at it from other angles where it affects TVT and TVZ as well. And maybe, okay, it does suck. I say whether it's OP or not for versus Protoss. But I can say it's almost like a necessity versus Zerg games. There's nothing more silly than losing to, like, you get a Thor out and still 8 magic box on top of it because you don't have, like, 4 turrets down with a Viking on top of that. Like, it's one of these things where, like, okay, I think maybe this is something that's not going to get resolved in the show for balance discussion. And as much Legacy, the Void is not meant to be balanced. It's the beta is imbalanced on purpose. But I do think that the Engineering Bay was a very practical move, and it helped a lot. And I think it's going to hurt going back to the old methods. But at the same time, maybe it is the band-aid that's necessary. Maybe having one route solves all the problems of not having turrets because you have no engineering bay. We don't know because we haven't seen it yet.
Well, like the Widowmine drop, right? The weakness of the Widowmine drop is that, like, if a Dark Templar comes in, you have no eBay, right? For example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same when you do, like, the Blink opening, like the Blink Punish opening against Terran, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, you go there, and then, like, okay, you made a Dark Shrine, and they're like, oh, damn, he's on Blinkstalkers. But now there will be like, oh, damn, let's just put up the depots, make a turret. Like, it just closes so many options for Protoss. Like, I don't think you guys understand that, like, if you make the Oracle and DT worse, then if Protoss all they can do is macro, I think we can all agree that if you know Protoss is doing a certain build, then they are the weakest race, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you know exactly when they're expanding, and like if you're doing Blink or Colossus, etc., then like it's pretty simple to play against Protoss.
I think that's applicable to Heart of the Swarm. I don't actually agree with that with Legacy of the Void, though. Adepts have changed up the matchup insanely so. The Disruptor is crazy different. I mean, I just don't think it has the... Like, I agree 100% if we're talking about Heart of the Swarm. I actually disagree if we're talking about Legacy of the Void.
But Protoss doesn't seem very strong in Legacy either, though. Like, the design of the Disruptor is something I've been very against when it comes to it. Like, against Terran especially, it seems like if they split well, what is the Disruptor supposed to do? I suppose the idea is like Blinkstalkers and Disruptor, right? Or something like that?
Well, I don't know because there's only been like 2 Protoss players in Legacy of the Void so far. Like, we are literally only just seeing the start of it. So that's why I'm saying I can't agree with this like good versus bad because we haven't seen enough out of anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have played like the Legacy of the Void, but like with the old style, if that makes sense, you know, like
yeah, a lot of people are
the
playing
Colossus, like they aren't good enough against Bio at the moment. Like I think they have like 10 damage or something. I'm not sure, but it was significantly lower. So I don't know. I don't have enough experience to talk about it. I just know from compared to Heart of the Swarm, Protoss is worse.
I don't know. Like the Evo chamber with the Spore makes sense in Heart of the Swarm because you can do like 10 gate proxy Stargate, and then like an Oracle beats a Queen, and then you don't have much left to beat the Oracle. But now that you start with 12 worker and you have more money, I kind of like to see that change reverted for Zerg as well. Maybe I'm like being retarded and this doesn't make sense, but just the fact that DTs are less used seems like a good reason to not go through with this change. But maybe it's just me being biased on Protoss. Next up, we have Roach Bro move now requires an upgrade again. Oh yeah!
This is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge.
This was so cheap before too. So because like what they did before is if you got Boar upgrade, Roach could move underground for free. So it's basically like you went from like a 200 tech path, like 200 minerals, 200 gas tech path to a 50-50 tech path, right? Because Burrow is 50-50 or it's 100. I'm not sure anymore.
I think Burrow is 100, right?
Well, so you went from 250 to 100 tech path. But now they decided against that. They've said that we felt the double buff in this area was too much. To remedy this, we decided to keep the speed buff for Burrow move roaches and added the Tunneling Claw upgrade back. We feel that the strategic choice this upgrade provides as an investment option on roaches is cool, thus factoring in to the decision to revert this nerf from the 2 changes we did in this area. Mo, did you play against Tunneling Claw roaches?
Yeah, I think I have, but I haven't played against. Like, I haven't played against the Void in quite a while, but yeah, it was like really so fucking strong. They could like get it at any point of the game, just like fucking Burrow roaches could just appear in your minor line at any point of the game. So it just felt like you had to rush out cannon if you're Protoss, or rush out turret if you're Terran. It felt pretty stupid. Like roaches we all know they're insanely strong. The only way you really deal with them is, you know, SimCity abuse, you know, wall-ins, bunkers, cannons, gateways, force fields, and so on. It's the only way to beat roaches in early games. So them, you know, being able to, you know, come on top of you per se in that fashion in early game was was just really too strong. So they have nerfed Ravager, they have nerfed Roach, so I think you can get past early game now, which is nice.
Well, I think that's actually a really important thing for the Protoss matchup when it comes to this, because right now the whole implication of the Ravager, and yes, it got nerfed, so it's weak now, but the whole implication of the Ravager was it was a unit that was meant to break force fields so Zerg armies could fight. But instead, because they're so weak now and they're so costly, every Zerg player just goes straight to Roach Burrow, so they could just go underneath the force fields. And I kind of feel like it's the reason nobody goes Ravagers, pure. They're just too weak, too costly, and they don't get the job done for something else that can do it much better and much cheaper. So this upgrade as well may bring Ravagers back into play, which I think could be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. One thing that really bugged me, and this is the last change in the patch, Swarmos doesn't borrow move. The new Swarmos is looking good so far, but we wanted to reduce the number of complexity on this unit by removing its ability to borrow move. The number of complexity. So how many complexity does the Swarmos have right now, guys?
Actually, with its really long cooldown, it's a hard-to-use unit.
Can you quantify the number of complexity the Swarmos has, please?
5 mods with you. No, but here's the thing. Here's the better question. How many of you tuning in right now even knew that Swarmhost could burrow move?
I knew.
I didn't know.
Nobody knew this. It was such a silly buff that because no one's using Swarmhost, nobody experienced this and nobody knew about it. So this change, I feel, has no implication on the game because it never got used.
But the number of complexity, it's like, hey, we're trying to make this game fun and fancy, but no, wait, there's too many complexity. We're done.
I mean, I think it makes sense. I agree, it's a typo, sure, but I think it makes sense.
I would have liked to see it in action, man.
No, it's already like a unique unit in itself. It's already super fast, and it's hard to catch. It's kind of hard to kill. Why
but
would
it's
it
even
need
more
burrow?
annoying to try to dig something that's borrowed and you can't find it. Think of a roach burrow. It's always stuck in the corner of your base. You don't fucking know where it is. You're looking for it. It takes a lot of brain power and multitasking to clean it out.
But take a unit like roach. It's basically a marauder without Stimpack. It's super uninteresting. It doesn't do anything. So its uniqueness is its ability to move underground, and it regenerates and that kind of stuff. So it becomes more complex. Whereas a unit like the Swarmhost is already unique by itself. It doesn't need the Roach Burrow.
I don't know, man. It just reminds me of the days of Tal'Darim Althar when infestors were good and you had some clown running around or borrowing around with 12 infestors and you had to fucking find them, and then once you found them you fucking jumped in your seat and you were happy. And then I had the same dream with the Swarmos where they would people would try to be fancy, but the number of complexity is too much. Do you understand my dream, Mo, or do you think it's a retarded dream?
Yeah, I think.
It's 2015. You can't say retarded anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so Mo agreed that it was stupid. All right.
Why can't they just run around? I don't understand.
My man, I had a dream. All right. But yeah, that wraps up the Legacy of the Void balance update. The new unit has it been in the game, in the games you casted today, Riff? Was it in the game?
For what, the Swarmhost?
No, the Liberator.
No, that's not coming till the next patch, which will probably be within the week, I imagine. But actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about, or if you did, we kind of glanced over, and that's the new gas geyser amounts, actually.
Yeah.
So, perhaps not the biggest deal to most, but for those who don't, in Legacy of the Void, mineral patches and gas geysers are less, which means you'll get less out of each base, which in turn makes each resource more valuable, specifically gas. The fact that they're putting it back, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of, or we're not putting it back, but the geyser amount rather getting increased again. It was such an interesting dynamic where you'd have players mining out. We are getting 4, 5, even 6 base games, whereas now you might be able to stick on that third base a little bit longer to stretch out to that fourth because you've got the gas you need as a turtle Protoss or turtle mech or whatever the case may be. So I'm a little bit worried about this change. I don't think it's going to be crazy impactful, but I definitely think it gets back on the way the games are played out.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes sense that they would want to match the mineral ratio that they changed previously. A little bit weird that they didn't do it back then, but better late than never. Moving on to the next topic, guys. Take TV launches their IndieGoGo for Home Story 11. I'm always Roman numbers are weird, man. But yeah, they launched their IndieGoGo. I mean, they saw the gold mine that was the Base Trade TV Kickstarter, and they wanted a piece of the pie. And so here they are, $2,000 away, or $3,000 away from funding their own.
So
yeah,
I just want to share a thought on this Zombie Overnight stream, where our Kickstarter was profoundly, exceptionally successful. And it's still not even done. Take TVs will most likely be similar. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I think that's so big about it that I hope Blizzard notices is that the reason these Kickstarters are getting so much money is because people can't spend it anywhere else. They can't spend $5 on a skin, so they'll put it towards a Kickstarter. They can't spend $20 on a voice pack, so they'll put it towards a Kickstarter. There's a lot of theorizing of this, that, and the other, and talk show is talked about to death. And I don't want to talk about the concept of skins, but I hope the concept of monetization is more acceptable to Blizzard after realizing people have a fucking money to spend. $21,000 here, $12,000 for Take. It's a lot of money that Blizzard should and could be capitalizing on, that all of us will be so more than happy to spend like $5 on a Millennium skin for my barracks. Half goes to the team, half goes to Blizzard, or however they want to do it. But like, it just there's money on the table,
Yeah, that's very true. Maybe one day Blizzard will wake up and realize they did everything wrong. But until that day comes, Take TV, they had a lot of perks, a lot of cool perks. You could get coaching with Harstem, TLO, Stefano. You could play with Rotterdam. You could play with Nathanius against Rotterdam. You could play with the Muslim. You could play with Ebro Marine against the Muslim. You could buy a signed t-shirt, you could buy a signed hoodie, you could buy a VIP studio access, and you could also buy a player slot at Home Story 11, which Nathanius was salty about that he missed out on because he was sleeping when the IndieGoGo went live because he wanted to buy one.
Do you really think he'd pay, put $1,000 for a player slot? Is it for you guys?
Yeah, dude, he's so fucking tryhard when he streams, man. He doesn't even commentate, he's just in the game, he's so try-hard, so yeah, I have no doubt he would. Plus, he likes to support the scene, so. But unfortunately, for all of you guys that were like, oh, those are really cool perks, they're all sold out. So get wrecked. You can become a sponsor for $3,000 or $5,000. That's still available. So good luck to you. No, but NaNiwa, what's your take on this IndieGoGo thing? You think it's cool that Take, after so many years of hard work, is needs a little bit of help, and he's getting it as well? Do you think that's cool?
Yes, definitely desRow. I don't have any super emotional connection to this, of course, but I think it's very nice that they are proving that the game is not as dead as we all thought.
Yeah.
It's nice that people have money to spend for a donation here and there. No, I'm just kidding.
This guy. This guy.
Rip.
I was going to say, I was wondering.
Very good idea to have the chat perks. The perks with having the coaching and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an obvious step that should have been taken a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that it took so many years to realize that you can have actual goals for stuff like that, to be honest.
Yeah. But it's cool so many pros are... by the way, Rifkin, maybe it's different for you, but are you paying the people that are coaching? Or it's pro bono?
I asked, say you could an hour of your time, and some people said, yeah, how much do you want? And 1 hour for some, 4 hours for others. People were really, really generous about helping out.
So that's really cool of the pros then
There's,
to be so...
There was a couple people, one of which is in this call, that said no, but most people said yes without problem.
Oh my god. I just can't
Morrow.
help it, man.
Yeah, okay.
I hate playing cross-server. I am extremely sorry, Rifkin.
No, not you. I'm talking about Morrow.
Not me. I thought it was the tournament you were bugging me about again.
No,
I
no,
look
no.
silly now.
You said no. That's fine. I respected that. I found somebody else. I'm not giving you shit for that.
Okay.
I'm glad, actually, as much as it sucked that you canceled, thank you for doing it, like, when I had time to find somebody else, not, like, the day before or, like, 10 minutes before the start. I've had people do that next when that happens.
Oh, you mean about the coaching?
Yeah. No, I was just teasing, dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
I'm sorry about that, but you understand, right?
No, I said I understood. Not salty at all.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, for desRow, like, pretty much everyone I asked, except for, like, 2, said, yeah, not a problem. Like, it wasn't even an issue of trying to twist anybody's arm or guilt them into it. Like, people who got on board with us did it without hesitation. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like Rifkin.
I'm not taking shots at you. I'm not.
No, listen. Like Rifkin, mastermind, day one, donates $50 on my stream. Like, oh, Rifkin, such a nice guy. And then like comes in like a sneaky snake on day 3, like, hey, Morrow, wanna do a favor?
That's not even how that went, man.
Do some
Like,
coaching
that's
for
not
my
even...
Kickstarter. I'm like, I'm not a whore, Rifkin, but thank you for the donation. No, I know, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean, right? I felt a little bit like, is this guy manipulating me? Like, no, Rifkin would never do that.
No, dude.
I was gonna ask.
If I did, I would have said, "Hey, so you remember that $50 I donated you the other day? By the way, I need a favor." Not like, "Hey, Morrow, you busy? Can I ask a favor?" Which you could say no to. Like,
yeah, but you need, like it's manipulation. You need to like convince me, like Inception style.
oh, okay. So I gotta.
Yeah, so you're not like actually paying, All right. But I was gonna ask before I got interrupted. How did they raise the, like, why does Take TV need all this money? Is it doing like a super big event again, or?
I think it's they got a bunch of sponsors, but it wasn't enough to cover everything.
Yeah, on the Kickstarter it says that they get about $42,000 from sponsors, but they need just a little bit extra to top it off.
So I mean, is
the
it
money
gonna be like bigger than a usual Take TV event, or like are they lacking in the sponsor side, or?
I don't know. I don't think they're lacking on anything. I think it's just they want to make it like not cheap, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Speak for them.
Like they got the sponsors to give the money for the prize pool, but there's a lot of things that are struggling to cover, like the 2.5K for the food and beverages, the 2K for the huge party on Saturday, who's open to everyone, like the public. Staff, including casters, will cost $15,000, and they're gonna need a trophy who costs $3,000. They're gonna need fuel, flights, as well as accommodations for players, which is gonna be $7,500. Which I think that's used for the qualifiers. So they need like 55.
Oh, they have paid flights for the qualifiers?
Yes.
Oh.
So they need like 25K.
They
need 55K, and they got 42.5K.
No, they need to raise 12,500.
Yeah, but that's what I just said.
Or no, was it 17,000? Whichever the stretch goal for us to get there.
Oh my man, I see what you're doing.
They contacted us before, and I mean, like, I've been really trying to drive it. Like, we still have our Kickstarter going, but I've been telling people to donate to this because we would love to go to Germany, and I think it's like 17,000 or 75,000 is like the stretch goal to get us over there, which I thought was kind of cool. So, in a church, I guess some advertising, and I've said this on stream, and I'll stand by it. Even if we don't get to go, I still encourage people to support it because Take TV does good things. I mean, right now, there's not a whole lot of big tournaments going on. There's not a huge amount of content like there was, say, in 2010. So it's like, this is a pretty big deal. Or sorry, 2012, what am I saying? So it's a pretty big deal that, like, if these guys can get support, I can tell you from my point of view, regardless of the money we raise from our Kickstarter, just seeing that the support is still there is definitely something that's going to keep me anchored in StarCraft instead of trying to fuck off to another game, right? And I can only imagine for Take TV, like, it's got to be something similar, just seeing this huge amount of support from their fans.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So let's just run down the milestones really quickly. 12.5K is mission accomplished. 15K, Scarlett will be one of the hosts. 17.5K, be streamed by Bay Street TV. 20K, poker action. 22.5K, behind the scene video. 25K, Brood War Legacy tournament. So side tournaments. And $100,000 is... they're gonna go to Spain to do another tournament, but I mean that's a stretch, just in case Saudi Arabian prince goes drunk and donates. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, go ahead.
I have a criticism about this IndieGoGo though, and
Yes.
I already messaged Take about this, but for example, a lot of my fans want to support, but there's nothing between $1 and $100.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah.
And as well, the rewards, well, there's a couple ones. As we see, they got sold out really quickly. So I don't think there's a huge incentive for people to start donating $100 for nothing, so to speak. But even if it's something simple, like $100 for either coaching or a signed picture of Dennis in the bathtub, I mean, like, getting something for it, people are going to be so much more inclined to put $100 into it. Our Kickstarter, we worked really hard to make sure there was a lot of really cool rewards, and we got to see, I guess, the money that came as a consequence of that. I feel I was missing out by perhaps shooting too high and offering too little. But ultimately, this Kickstarter is going well, or pardon me, the IndieGoGo is going well, and I imagine it'll get a problem. There's just no way they don't hit that goal.
Yeah, well, hopefully you get there, Rifkin, and if you don't, well, hopefully they reach 12.5K, and if that doesn't happen, well, rip.
It's okay. If we don't reach the goal, rumor has it they'll do again.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, one more. You can't say his name here, man. I'm just kidding. All right, next up, watch this, the Jord Invitational.
Jord.
So 8 of the greatest players on Earth battled online in this tournament. So there was what? I mean,
desRow?
What? Well, there was an NA group, and me and Moosekill and Kane and Igas were part of it. You know, even though there were the 8 greatest players on Earth, you know, not everyone can win. So, yeah, no, we're not going to talk about the groups, just the results, really. Wellmoo beating Igas 3-2 in the semis. Moosekill taking a map of Snoot, that's kind of nice, and then Snoot taking it home 4-3, earning himself $250 plus Jord watch. Isn't that wonderful, Rifkin?
No, I think you forgot one result.
What?
desRow getting shit on by everybody. 0-2.
Actually,
What happened, desRow?
But I took a map of Igas and I looked really good for once.
Took a map?
Yeah, but
I believed in you, man.
yeah.
No, hold up. Serious talk here. desRow actually looked in Stone Cold Badass in game 1. He just smacked Igas in like every way possible. Then he got totally shit him afterwards. But like honestly, game 1 was the best I've ever seen desRow play, and he played it really well. So I will give him like no shit because he deserves like gratitude. The rest of it though, dude, you fell apart, desRow. I don't know what to say.
And like Kane can make it to day 2, so I played.
No, I can talk about that now. Can I talk about that? I'm so
Yes.
pissed. Fuck. Okay, I love Kane to death. That's the preface, right? And the thing I'm mad about is his timing for this. But he found out 1 hour into playing the finals to play tomorrow or on day 2. So he tells me after he beats desRow and knocks him out of the tournament, and tells me after he knocks Moosekill out of the tournament that he was going to have to cast WCS and wouldn't be able to play. I'm like, I was like, the timing on this, like, why didn't you just tell me earlier that desRow and Moosekill's play, which we ended up having to do anyways on day 2. Headache.
Yeah, that's a little bit crazy.
But not in that moment. Not in that moment.
Yeah,
So why didn't? What was his excuse?
because he had to cast WCSNA. They
No,
flew him out.
I mean, why didn't he say it earlier?
He only found it, like, okay, so the finals of the group is starting, and I guess he found out as the final, but didn't tell me till after it was finished.
Yeah, it was a pretty crappy situation. But then I got to play Moosekill, and then I still lost pretty badly. But it's okay. It was fun, right? Yeah. Okay.
You made it to day 2, dude. Technically.
Yeah. Positive thinking, right?
Yeah,
All right.
desRow. All hail the Panda Tribe.
Thank you, Nani. Without your support, I wouldn't be here today.
Actually, I would like to recommend, by the way, anyone who missed that, if nothing else, watch the last game of the finals. Like, you already know, but the way that game ended was so fucking stupid. Like, that much I'm not going to spoil. It's worth watching. Snoop versus Wamu Game 7.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, Pig to join WCS Cologne Broadcast Team this weekend to cast all 4 remaining groups of WCS. He'll be joining Rotterdam, Todd, Apollo, and Carlaris. I can never say his name right, but I always try. But yeah, Pig's a newcomer. You know, last WCS season we had Fenner. This season we had Huck and Kane. And now we're going to have Pig go to Europe. Now, for those of you that have never seen Pig or heard him, he streams a lot and he's a great coach. So I think he's going to be nice to watch and listen on the stream this upcoming weekend. Rifkin, do you have anything to add about Pig?
Pig, I've been friends with for a while. I think he has some really good ZVT, better than most in the world. No, maybe that's going too far, but the rest of his stuff is still pretty strong too. I think he's going to be at the team because he knows his shit really well, and the best part is he could talk. Because that's always a concern, right? Like, you've got a caster who might know everything in the world, but if you can't listen to them, then you don't want to listen to them. I also want to just clear something up because it's been brought up a couple times in chat. Now, well, not playing in my tournament has no drama attached to it. Try making some up if you'd like, but he contacted me a week ahead of time, couldn't do it, didn't want to do it, so he didn't do it. Plain and simple, no drama.
Well, I mean, he's the one missing out on the potential beautiful Jord watch. So,
me?
yes.
Oh, no. Don't be mad, Rifkin, guys.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, those
yeah, no,
watches
I'm just
are
trying to clear up,
nice,
so because people are so quick to make shit up. Like,
yeah.
I really want to buy one, dude, but I don't have the money for it.
Wow.
Like the $395 or $295, whatever.
You should have pulled the Destiny and be like, well, before I rep your tournament, I have to see if your product is of quality. Please send me a watch, and then I'll see if I want to work with you.
I probably could have done that. I just wanted to do good StarCraft, so I didn't bother hassling and haggling.
I see. Well, see, guys, Rifkin's an honest man. Who would have thought? Moving on to the Reddit question.
What the fuck is that?
I'm just